Here are 10 literal supercars you can buy for less than the market price of a C8 Corvette. I'm not kidding, it's pretty crazy. Let's get into it. Alright, welcome back guys. Hope everyone's having a good, fun weekend. It's nice and hot here on the East Coast. I love the humidity, I love the heat, I'm like a lizard. So yeah, I'll take this over cold any day of the week. That's just me. Alright, so I comprised a list of 10 cars you can get for roughly $95K or less, which is substantially lower than a C8 asking price or market value price, as you know right now. The average price of a C8 Corvette on Auto Trader or Car Gurus, 1LT all the way to 3LT, is about $105,000. Some 3LT asking prices are about $135,000. It blows my mind. It totally just not what a Corvette's supposed to be. I also understand supply and demand. I get that. We live in a capitalist society, but it's still pretty nuts, you know, is what it is. But I thought it'd be fun if you're kind of overweighting or just want a fun little video to watch. I made this for you guys, put together, and some of these might surprise you. Some of these cars that you can get for cheaper than a C8 Corvette, and they're not terribly old either. Hope you guys find this informative. I had a lot of fun making this, and made me think too about maybe you should get a different car. I don't know. There's no real particular order to this. I guess the top 3 are kind of like, whoa, the craziest deal. But yeah, I just kind of had fun with it. We'll start at 10, go to number 1, and there's an honorable mention there as well. All right, number 10, the Audi R8. I'm sure you're all familiar with this guy. It's been around since, what, 09, I think? Comes with a V10, and you can get it in a manual transmission. If you don't mind one a little older, you can pick one up for about 70K with a manual gearbox. As they get newer, the price does creep up to about 6 figures. Nonetheless, you can get one. Really good example, decent mileage for thousands less than a market value C8, which is crazy, and the R8 still turns heads. Whenever you see one, you're like, damn, that's a nice car. They're very timeless. I think they're on their 2nd gen now, and you can't really tell the two apart unless you're a hardcore Audi enthusiast. I've always liked them. Awesome car. So that's a car to look at if you're curious about what else is out there. Number 9. This is probably the one car I know the least about on this list. Well, one of 2 rather. That's the BMW i8. It's a very interesting car. It looks very futuristic. I guess that's the idea, because it's like a hybrid electric gas supercar. They're not terribly quick. It's got an okay electric motor paired with a okay gasoline motor, but together they make a very stout vehicle. It's like something like 4 seconds to 60, which isn't crazy fast, but they have the cool doors that come up. I think they're gull-wing, aren't they? Maybe just go up. Either way, the doors are not conventional. Pretty cool. I've seen a few around here. You rarely see them, but you can scoop one of those up for like 60K. And they come in really exotic colors. I'll have a picture here, of course. But yeah, the i8, very interesting car. If you're a techie and like tech and not too worried about going fast in a straight line, the i8 may be a car for you. I don't know. All right, number 8. This one might upset a few people that are Corvette enthusiasts. That's the Viper. I didn't realize how cheap Vipers were getting, and they were not bitten by the same bug that made Corvettes inflate like a son of a bitch. You can get a Gen 3 or Gen 4. Good example, low mileage, high 30s. That's crazy. Even a Gen 5, which is the newest Viper example, up until 17, they stopped making them. You can get one of those for about 80, not the highest tier model, but nonetheless, an entry level you can get for a pretty good price. And the Gen 5 Vipers are a very nice car. The cockpit is very nice. It's very comparable to the C7. I think the interior is a little more refined. I think it turns a little more heads than the C7 does, because they didn't make nearly as many, you know, or any Viper really. They made probably 10% every model here that the Corvette made, which is why I'm surprised the Viper isn't going for as much as any Corvette, I guess, for relative to the cost was just a couple of years ago. It's kind of weird. But yeah, you can get a really nice example, Gen 3, 4, even 5, for substantially less than a C8 Corvette, and you're going to turn just as many heads in a Viper than you would a C8 Corvette. That's just my opinion. Number 7, a Jaguar. Now hold on, I know it's a Jaguar, but the F-Type SVR, specifically the highest trim of the F-Type. Gorgeous car. You don't see these too often. They're kind of small, but they're kind of neat. I think it's the prettiest car that Jaguar makes ever. But yeah, they're quick. These things have almost 600 horsepower, and you can get one of these things for about 60, 70K. They come in awesome exotic colors. They come in a light blue, which I think is amazing. It's very similar to the Rapid Blue in the C8 Corvette. Very pretty car. I wouldn't sleep on one of these. They're very quick. Now and then again, you have British reliability, is not the great, but you can get one almost new enough to have a warranty. And yeah, they're a pretty cool car. And you can get one of these 50K less than the CA asking price right now. So it's something to think about. Number 6, the Lexus LC 500, or 500 to the layman. This is a car, again, you never see, but they're relatively inexpensive to what we're talking about. It looks like a prototype car that went through concept, and they're like, yeah, it's good enough. And they just made it. So that's pretty cool on Toyota or Lexus's behalf. I've seen maybe 2 of them running around in existence, and there's quite a few on Auto Trader right now. There's over 100 of these damn things for sale. They're not crazy fast. They're full of tech. They got close to 500 horsepower, but they are heavy. A supercar, maybe not. They definitely will turn ahead. You know what I mean? They're pretty interesting looking. And I like what Lexus did with them. If you want a very plush ride, awesome tech, cool looks, fast enough, this might be the car for you. Save yourself 50K over a C8 Corvette. Maybe scoop up one of these little bad boys. All right, so number 5 to 1, it gets a little more exotic territory, and some of these really shocked me, as you'll see here momentarily. Number 5, the Ferrari 360 Spider and Modena, respectively. I've always loved these cars. To me, this is a flagship look for what a Ferrari is. I know they've come a long way since these came out. This is probably the oldest car on this list. Nonetheless, you can snag one of these for about $70,000 or $80,000. The reliability would probably be questionable. Nonetheless, you would have a Ferrari that everyone would be like, damn, you own a Ferrari. But, yeah, I own a Ferrari. But yeah, if you want a budget supercar, this might be the way to go. When did they stop making them 360? Like 07 or something? I don't know. But the look is very awesome, and it's a very timeless, classic Ferrari look. Nothing wrong with them at all. And of course, if you buy one, typically they're always very well manicured and taken care of, all that jazz. Mid-engine, of course. And you have the awesome Ferrari sounds. You know what I mean? Number 4, another Ferrari. This is the Ferrari California. This is a Ferrari I don't know much about. And honestly, until today, I never really looked into them. But they're a pretty good looking car for the cost. And you can get one of these like a 15 for under $100,000. They look a lot more expensive than what they are. Now, I don't think I can ever own a car named after the state. That is the bane of my existence and fuels my hatred towards communism. Is that allowed? But yeah, this is another option. A Ferrari that you could get less than a C8 Corvette. It's a very pretty car, and it's a front engine car. If you like front engine over mid engine. Number 3, this one surprised me the most making this list, and yes, I'm not messing with you. You can get a Mclaren for substantially less than a C8 Corvette. Not a 570, not a 720, but an MP4 12 Charlie, or 12C, I don't know what they call it, but yeah, this is a very gorgeous car. It's not quite as refined as, let's say, a 570, but it goes, it moves, it's a very pretty car. And you can get one of these for about 80K with decent mileage on it. Actually, pretty low mileage. These things are about 8 or 9 years old now, but you can say you own McLaren, which is pretty freaking nuts. I had no idea that these were so cheap. No idea. Until I was making this little project today. No clue. That's kind of cool. So yeah, there you go. Get a McLaren, 80K. Think about it. Like, so you pay like 79 for your McLaren MP4, and then you snatch up a Gen 3 Viper for like 35. Right? And then you're still paying less for C8 Corvette 3LT. That's nuts. Number 2, Lamborghini Gallardo. Very pretty car. I remember these came out. To me at the time, I guess I was like in high school, and this was the epitome of a supercar. It's totally unobtainable at the time. I think they started like 150, and which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But it's crazy to think that they're not crazy unobtainable anymore. It's crazy to think you could scoop one of these up now for 40K less than a new Corvette. I never in my lifetime thought I would see that, but you can. There's a lot of examples in Auto Trader and Car Gurus, totally unmolested. These cars are all business all the time. It's a very raw sensation as far as Lamborghinis go, but they sound incredible, and it's a Lamborghini, you know what I mean? That's pretty damn cool. Real talk, if I was at a dealership and there was a Corvette 2LT, 3LT, sticker price of 120, and there's this Lambo right next to it, awesome condition, low mileage for 20, 30, 40K less, that would be a hard decision to make. I'll be honest with you. All right, and before we get to number one, there's a quick honorable mention, and that is the Acura NSX, the new one from 2017 and up. These have not creeped below 100K, but they're priced on par with the market value 3LT, and they're new enough to where you get one with a warranty. So you could get an NSX, which is a much more rare car than the C8 Corvette, for about the same price. And they're very reliable, they're very quick, in my opinion a little more refined. The build quality is probably going to be a little better than the C8 Corvette, but yeah, they're kind of in the same realm now. Now a new NSX is going to run you about 170, but you can scoop up a low mileage warranted one for the same price as the C8 Corvette, which is pretty cool. I didn't really include it in the list because it's not sub $100,000, that was kind of my goal, but nonetheless something to think about. All right, number one. This one's probably gonna rustle a few jimmies. I just happen to like Aston Martins, and you can get pretty much any 15 and up Aston Martin, lower trim level, than less than what you pay for a C8 Corvette. DB9, Vanquish, vintage coupe. You can get one of these things for about $80,000, $90,000. Gorgeous cars. You never see them, but they're all over Auto Trader. It's crazy. I know, dude. Aston Martins are very polarizing. I get that. But again, this is just a fun little video making to see what you could get compared to a C8 Corvette. And a lot of these cars you could get too. You can mix and match and still have less than a C8 Corvette. Mind blown. I was just thinking the other day, I was like, man, you know, the C8 Corvettes are just going up and up and up and up. I was like, what else could you get for the same money? And yeah, I thought I'd make this. If anyone else is curious to see a reference price point, if you will. So it's kind of fascinating. Hope you guys found this fascinating. Yeah, I got some fun videos coming up this week. I have a huge announcement video coming up. No, I didn't get a C8. No, I have a fun announcement probably by Friday. You guys will enjoy it. It's a giveaway, but it's a freaking awesome giveaway. Tell your friends, and I'll tell you guys all about it later this week in Corvette news probably tomorrow. All right, boys and girls, I'm gonna go get drunk because it's gorgeous outside and it's Sunday, and I just wanna relax. And yeah, so I'm gonna do that. And I'll catch you guys later this week. Mark out.